Hi, in this video, I will take my token mint transaction attempt and we will try and rebase it because it has some conflicts in the README file and the test file, given that the main branch has been updated. All right, so for reference, I'm following a similar process as in this article here, and I'll be sure to follow it because this is a surgical precision change involving conflicts, and it's important to make sure that there are no errors in this, but it is like a manual process. So here I am inside my Visual Studio, and so the first instruction is to pull any changes from the main. So I last fetched 4 days ago, so let's have a go and see what there is. So in this case, we have 3 changes to pull. So we've seen that token dissociate has been added. There's been some test PY changes and the token dissociate transaction. Great. So that means that the main branch has changed. So when I look at my token mint transaction, it will now have the wrong base. So we need to update this. My personal approach is to, first of all, you can see I like to take backups. So I will actually take a backup before this just because it is like a manual process where things can go wrong. So I'm going to call it token mint transaction backup 28th of Jan. Not a great name, but yeah. This is currently based on the branch that I have, which is the token mint transaction one. And that's just taking the backup like as it is. I'm not going to publish that or anything. That's just something to have in my local machine. Anyway, this is the one that needs updating. So this first step, they said, check out the main, which means go onto the main branch and pull it, which is what we did. Now they're using Git on the terminal. Now they say to change the branch. I did that here just by kind of diving into the particular branch that I want to change. But it could always be good to double check this. I've had a times where this hasn't always necessarily worked out. So I'm going to go to my I always forget which one it is, Hiero SDK Python. And I'm just going to double check that I am in the right. So token mint transaction. And it just confirms I'm already on token mint transaction. If you're not on token mint transaction, that will definitely cause problems. And it says here it's okay. I don't want to follow that, but actually let me just check. I think that would just go into the main and then your branch is up to date with it. So if I try to pull that, then nothing will happen. Already up to date. Switching back here, git checkout. Okay, so I guess we're good. So the next step is to do a rebase. Now this means we are going to rebase with the new main. This is like I like to call it like a surgical process. So we have a conflict in the README, we have a conflict in test PY, and that means that the rebase just wasn't able to do it all by itself. I have to manually resolve all these, and that's where it introduces the possible risk that this could possibly go wrong. So hopping back into Visual Studio code, you see that it's trying to go back and use the new main, and these are like all the commits that I've done since. Some of these are not like well named, but maybe I'll go through that in another video. I wish they were better named. Okay, so we've got to do all of these things. These are the ones with the conflicts, README and the test. So we need to resolve these manually. So I want to open up the merge editor. And inside here, which one's the new one? Okay, these are the ones I'm trying to add based on my token mint branch. And these are the ones that are currently wanting to be added from the main. And we can see I'm trying to add mint, but I don't have any dissociate, but this one's dissociate, so it's not going to work. So I need to make sure that this line has all of the content in it to work with the main, with the dissociate, and also work with the new changes that I want to add. So I definitely want to accept the current one. I want the dissociate on there, and I also want the mint. So I think I want to accept a combination. And we can see here that now what's happening in my README is that the mint and the dissociate are both featured. So that is one conflict, and it says that there's one conflict remaining. If I click that, like jump down, and again, I haven't got any dissociate token things in my token mint, so I need to accept this left-hand side, but I also, right now, my current version doesn't have any mint thing either. So I want to include both of them into my README. And it says that there are no conflicts remaining. You can always check that it's kind of like as you would expect it. So I'm adding a token mint transaction. So I'm expecting there to be minting a token section. And I'm also pulling the token dissociate, which is here as well. So that seems pretty well. So we can complete the merge with the README, and there shouldn't be any more problems with that README. But now we still have a problem with the test. So we have to, looks like we have quite a few conflicts here. So let's have a look in the merge editor. And from this, it looks like the token dissociate has its own imports, which will be needed. So I want it. This one on the right-hand side looks blank. So I guess I could just kind of ignore that. There's probably no harm in adding a combination, but it does look blank. So I'm just going to accept the current one. And just that, like, as I said, things can go wrong. So I always like to double check. So I've got associate, got dissociate, transfer, delete. That's sort of what I would expect. On the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side, I need that to be create, associate, delete, and mint. So, okay, that seems okay. One conflict is remaining, so I'm jumping to that next conflict. And here, remember what we are trying to do here. Okay, we're running like the full test script. And okay, I need to be careful with this because I'm adding a supply key on the mint. I'm creating these token IDs for the token dissociate. Sorry, this is from the main. Associate, transfer, dissociate. So I'm guessing I'm going to need all of these. But looking at the token mint, we only have one. So I need to decide, which has a supply key. I suppose I could create a third token ID, just keeping it like that. But it's probably quite risky to do that. That actually might not work out because if it's a supply key for the rest of it, might still be needed. Delete token has an admin key. Ooh, okay. This one I will probably have to think about. I might even pause the video because I don't want to get this wrong. But I think I will probably accept the incoming one and then manually try and make sure that it adds that, because if I accept a combination, I think that will get messy. Yeah, let me try and just pause this and I'll come back. Pause recording. Okay, so I decided to get the combination, but then I've decided to basically have the token dissociate logic as well as the token mint logic. They both require token IDs. As you can see, the associate was requiring token ID 1 and token ID 2. So I'm trying to kind of keep that, but I want to mint a token. The solution that I'm attempting, I don't know yet if it will work, is to just give one of the token that I'm trying to mint the supply key, because it needs to have a supply key to mint that. Which actually makes me think if the token create has that. I might have a problem with this, but anyway, so I have given the supply key to token ID 1 because that's required to mint it. I think I only need to show that I can mint one token. So I've chosen not to add it to token ID 2. So this is just working with like token ID 1. And then I'm keeping the same associate and dissociate logic that was here. As you can see, the token mint one didn't distinguish between the different token ID numbers. But I don't think that matters in this case, just so long as it is able to push through associate, transfer, and delete. Yeah, so I think that will probably be fine. No more conflict. So let's try a merge. And then now we can see that there are no more merge conflicts. So if I press continue, it will rebase it. It looks like I've already added all these to be added. So yeah, let's press continue. And then I'm hoping that it will all now work. Now the important thing is to not press this sync changes button, because you can see here it will pull 2 and it will push 6 commits. I don't want it to pull the old token mint transaction that's still online. So that would be a mistake, because it will try and add on like additional changes to it, and then my rebase will have to be sort of kind of like reversed. So that would be a disaster. You can fix it, but you'd have to fix it. Okay, so then we don't need to do this get rebase continue because I did it on Visual Studio. Don't need to abort it, but now we're ready to push the changes. So as I said, I don't want to pull the changes, the 2 changes. I just want to push the 6. And to do that, all I would do is git push the token mint branch. So git push token mint. Did I call it token mint transaction? Yes, I did. Token mint transaction, that's the name of the branch. And then force. I might have a go though in this video to squash these commits together. I might not, because I also have a fair bit of like faff. If you look at the the commits, there was like a lot of like inside the history. I just called everything token mint, token mint. That's because I had to push it to GitHub Online to test solo. And so every time I thought it would be okay, my final attempt, I ended up with a new one. Actually, so I might try to show you in this video how I would squash them as well. And then we'll do a force push. So let me just pause this and then I'll show you that as well. Okay, so here you see that I used the commit git log one line. And what this did is presented to me all the git commit history for the particular branch. I don't think it's I'm not sure how to handle the recent changes. So I think what I will do is I'll actually push the changes that are still on my branch. And then assuming that solo passes, then I'll show you how to squish them. Because I don't know how to correctly squish them before. So I'm going to, I mean, I might, it's always good to, because you are force pushing, it's good to double check which branch you're in. So maybe before doing that, git checkout token mint transaction. I'm already on that. I don't want to, this is the problem. I definitely don't want to merge the remote branch. That's like the old one. So I'm going to force push my 6 commits. Failed to push some refs to. Oh, right. I didn't type in the name of the branch. I just pasted in. So I want to git push. Do I need the word origin? I'm not sure if I need origin. Let's say token mint transaction. All right. Well, that was the problem. Okay, so that will mean that when I go onto my GitHub, so I'll just teleport there 1 second. So you can see that git push command has triggered the solo action inside my own branch for that, and then that's going to check that final sort of test, all the test scripts. I wasn't 100% sure whether that would work with the token mint and the token associate, so that's worth waiting for. And then I will show you how to squish them. You can see that because I had already initiated a pull request on token mint transaction, that doing the git force push to the origin means it's connected to Nadine's Hiero SDK Python version. So it's doing the solo tests in that. That means that this could be quite spammy if I get the tests wrong or if I do like a further squish. Yeah, so this is kind of like before you do the pull request, that's the time really to mess around the most, and then afterwards to try and keep like the commits and the changes sort of as low as possible. Okay, so here we see that I was actually unsuccessful. The merge rebase that I did, I hadn't properly considered that the token create function is going to require a supply key for token ID 2. So I didn't look into that properly. I was doing that too quickly. So we need to go change the test token mint, and it was in the main section. Oops, no, sorry, test file, main section, token ID 2. Yeah, it looks like I will need a supply key because I need to specify if I'm going to have one or not to create like the token, it looks like. Line 306, double check that. Yeah, 306, that's causing the error. So I should probably double check when I'm talking about token ID 2. Okay, so I'll probably try and add that in. So this is a addition of supply key to token 2. I'm hoping that will work. Okay, but now that we have various commits and it's all merged together, I think it might be worth having a go at a rebase. Still hoping that I have it correct. Anyway, so the command I'm going to just log yeah, okay, so we are here, additional supply key to token 2. I've also added the single bytes upgrade, which was required. And then over here is where like the upstream is. So I think based on my research, if I remember right, to do like a squish, I might have to double check this, but to do a squish, you want to do like one commit below what you want to rebase. So if I want to squish all of these 4 commits, I will be referring to this one. Or I could just do I minus 4 and it will squish these together. I'm just going to double check that and then get back to you. Okay, so I'm pretty sure this kind of syntax is okay. So I'm going to squish the previous 4 commits. So I counted 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to squish those together. You can also do it by just copying and pasting in the ID, but this is in the documentation, so I'll just go with this. To get out of this, I do the colon WQ. And you could check that you're on the right branch. So I'm just going to rebase these 4. And then what happens is this just tells you which ones I want to be squishing together. So actually it's probably worth double checking that again. So token mint transaction, remove token info, single bytes, additional supply key, and we're leaving Nadine's one there. Okay, so to edit this, I'm going to press, I think it's I, and now I'm on insert mode, going to manually scroll through. So you need to change the word pick, so delete, and change that to squash. This is a dangerous procedure. So remember I took a backup. Don't change the first one, so keep that one as a pick, but the rest as a squash. And then to keep these changes, I think I press escape and then colon WQ again. And then it tells you, hey, do you really want to squash all these commits together? And yeah, my answer is going to be yes. So I'm going to what you have to do is basically insert again, combination of 4 commits, and it's just telling me this is essentially what I'm going to be seeing, because unfortunately every time I've been unsuccessful pushing to solo 4 times. So they're all called token mint transactions. Anyway, at the top, you need to say what you want it to be called. And you can actually tidy up the previous commits, like you can delete them, rename them, that kind of stuff. I don't think like that's necessary right now, but maybe there could be a use case for that because it is getting a little bit messy. Anyway, from this, we want to get out of insert mode, so like escape, and then -WQ. And then that is then squishing them all together. So when I go back onto here, you can see that I now have these put together. It's not great, the naming scheme that I have, because I have lost detail into what happened. Anyway, I might just check that it's got all of the changes that I wanted in it before I'm going to spam Nadine again. So I have mint, I have the dissociate, I'm adding a mint there. I'm adding all the mint things. That looks okay. And I think in terms of the changes that she wanted to see, I needed to make sure that there was the dissociate bits added to that, which could well be that one. And then I'm looking for the supply keys added into that, the minting of the different tokens, and then we still associate them, transfer them, and so on. Okay, so I'm going to pause this and just double check everything. So I don't think I should have committed the UV log. I can delete changes to that, but I think it's also, if I'm correct, inconsequential to commit the UV lock. It's just probably not ideal. So I think I'll just leave that for now. Anyway, I don't want to hit that, so I'm going to force push, which I think I have in like a previous one there, and then let's see again what will happen. Okay, so you can see that this was the force push 17 minutes ago that failed. That was after the rebase with the new main that I forgot to add the supply key to token 2. And then I think this was the squashed like version of token mint, and I force pushed that. And you can see it's now passed. I'm hoping that will like pass the criteria of Nadine. She knows a lot more than me. Yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video on rebasing with a new main and squishing various commits if you need to, as well as pushing to the repo in a safe way that doesn't pull old changes. And you've learned some additional commits that you can use. You can use like the rebase -4, or you could rebase with a certain ID of the previous commit that you want to rebase from. And then you've seen how to see your commit history with the git log. Okay, thanks very much. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I will try and add to them. Bye.